I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's, what, 9:15, 9:13, something like that. So I'm glad to see everyone here. Isn't this a gorgeous facility? It's really nice. So, Lou, would you like to welcome everybody? Lou Evans is the president of Mount Diablo Society, our host.
Thank you, Alice. So I'd like to welcome all of you here in Castro Valley, and hope you had a nice breakfast, and there's plenty of food left if you're still hungry. Plenty of coffee, juices over there, water on the table. If you run out, let us know, we'll refill for you. I'd like to especially welcome our ARS president, Jolene Adams. The last couple of years, nobody's traveled more around the country and the world than Jolene in the rose business, so we thought we'd make it easy for her. I think she had about a 3-mile trip today. I'd like to invite all of you to come back to the area 7 weeks from now, when we have our rose show in Dublin. So pick up a condensed schedule here, and I can email you a real schedule if you'd like. Just let me know. April 27th at Dublin Senior Center. There's the raffle table back there is fantastic. At last count there was over 35 items, so buy raffle tickets. There's a few silent auction items also to benefit NCNH. I hope you have an enjoyable 4 or 5 hours here, and thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Lou. And I just noticed that you refinished that piece of furniture in the back. That's gorgeous. So everybody do take a look at, that's part of the silent auction.
Really?
That is beautiful. So next up, roll call.
All right, so I have delegates from everyone except for San Mateo. Are you here? Stockton? Golden Gate? Honolulu? So that makes 22 out of 26 of our Rose Societies, and a special award to Charlie Malarkey. He responded to my email within 20 minutes with his delegates. So here you go, all the way from Hawaii. Thank you. So there'll be incentives every time now. Now you know, the first one who gets back to me, you get the award. So, I guess the next thing will be the minutes of the fall 2013. You know that we post the minutes of the meetings now on our website. So are there any corrections or additions to the minutes that are posted on our website? If there are no corrections or additions, do I have a motion to accept them? Rosemary? Thank you. Do I have a second? Bob? Thank you. So raise of hands or your wands. Let's do our wands. All those in favor? Thank you. The minutes are approved.
Thanks, Betty. That's mine. That's mine. All right. Okay. Treasurer's report. Kent?
Good morning, everybody. Everything is coming along fine. Criterion is doing fine with their budget and subscriptions. Although as we look forward, we could use more subscriptions. Linda will talk to you about that. We did our first $1,000 expense advance to Fresno, and they paid it back immediately. So congratulations to them. They were very prompt in handling that. We made a donation to the ARS patron program. I'm not sure what your sheets show, but John Shaw told me that I'm under budgeted for the silver medal. So we will raise that to $250. And I think that's everything. We need a good raffle, so spend your money freely. And otherwise, everything's fine. On the trophy report, 2014, so you need to pay up. But we already have over half of you paid. So, and I'm supposed to mention, so I don't get in trouble, that Redwood Empire is paid up through this year. So she got on me because I missed that. So I admit to that mistake. Okay? Any questions? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. I want to thank Ken for doing a fabulous job on keeping track of the books, having a good budget, and reminding us to spend money. So, I do want to acknowledge, although I think Lou's already done it, our local celebrity, Jillian Adams, our American Rose Society president. Glad you're here. Yeah, the district seems to be, we seem to be doing well. We've got one or two small societies that are really struggling, and I understand that. It can be kind of tough these days. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I hate when that happens. It will come back. Pardon me? It was ODH and I'm NCNH, it happens. But from a district standpoint, I think most of the clubs are doing pretty well. Now, I'm going to sort of blend district and national because I happen to be on the national membership committee. And we've been charged with coming up with a way to help membership. ARS membership, but part of that, hand in hand with that is local society membership. So we've developed 2 pilot programs, and I'm pleased as all punch to announce that 3 of the Rose Societies in our district were picked, because all this was random number generators, if you will, but randomly picked to participate in the pilots. Two were selected to participate in Pilot 1, and 1 was selected to participate in Pilot 2. And they'll run concurrently. They just have different pricings, different features from the current national structure. So Contra Costa and Mount Diablo are in Pilot 1, and Marin is in Pilot 2. So this should be kind of exciting. We're expecting to run the pilots for a little over a year to look for renewal rates as well as just new members. But we're hoping that this, number 1, increases ARS membership, but number 2, helps bring people into your society, because we think you'll have something a little more attractive to offer. The other part of that that's attractive is when a participating society hits the 50% mark, then there are some additional benefits to that society in the way of discounts for your Roadshow certificates, for example, and discounts for your society membership. Like I said, I'm not going to try and say what they all are, because the 2 are different. They're different price structures and different features. But it should be, it should make a very interesting year. And we're hoping at the end of, like I say, a little over a year, to see what works and hopefully have something to implement on a national basis. So, yes?
So, are you going to make it easier for the individual clubs to get on this ARS members?
That's never easy. Part of the problem there are all the privacy issues that are out there today with don't share my information and all. But for the pilots, We are sharing our membership lists of those clubs with National. They're going to bounce it up against their list of ARS members and respond with, okay, this person, check as to who in your club they have on their books as an American Rose Society member. Now, all they need is, a name and a city. We don't have to give them, they're not updating their database with any of this, but they will get a list from each society so they can come back and tell us. Because you don't always know.
So you're saying the club has to submit its list?
The club, and you've done that. If you've done the insurance, you've already given them a list of your members for insurance through the Rose Society. If you haven't done that, then we'll still just give them an updated list of here are our members.
And then you come back to the president with an ARS member.
And we can say who the ARS members are.
And you do that by email, mechanically?
We probably will. It's just easier. And we're working with Laura in the membership office. Laura just got, I don't know, is it a promotion?
No.
It's a job change.
New job.
Laura Fender is going to move over from being director of membership to being to working on the planned giving side of things, and we're looking for somebody new to be director of membership. And
Any volunteers?
Any volunteers? Move to Shreveport? You do need to kind of be co-located for this job, and you need to talk a little. I'm going to be bad. You need to talk a little more slowly.
And very southern.
And what kind of southern? Laura's from England, so she doesn't.
She doesn't speak English.
Well, she speaks British. With a southern accent. No. But, no, there's a job opening at headquarters, if anyone wants.
What's the
So-
pay? Yeah, what's the pay?
I have no idea what the pay is. Probably not very much. There are benefits.
It would be good if one of the people in the pilot program societies did it, because they would be in the center of action.
They would be in the center of action, then they wouldn't be here, they'd be in Shreveport. So it should be very interesting. It should make for an interesting year. So we're hoping, we really do want to grow, and we've got a lot to offer. I know the magazine is just improved by leaps and bounds. The magazine is fabulous. One of the offerings in Pilot 2, I think, is an electronic membership where you don't get the hard copy. You sign up for an electronic magazine. Everything else about your membership is the same, but an electronic magazine. Yeah, Betty's reminding me that Mendocino is talking about possibly disbanding. They're a little bitty Rose Society. They have a hard time even meeting. There's only half a dozen people, so they may wind up disbanding. So we'll see how that goes. And Noreen says when she retires, maybe she'll come and join Women Empire. In the meantime, yeah, she's working. Kind of a trek. Trying to think. I think the rest of the information we're going to cover in our other reports. So I'll leave it at that for now. Any questions for me? Okay. Coming events for the we're working on State of ARS. We're still in the black. Working very hard on staying that way. So please, patron program donations, all those good things, very important in keeping us in black. National conventions. We've got a national convention just down the road. Well, it's drivable, folks. In San Diego, Mother's Day weekend. I highly encourage everyone to go. San Diego, Los Angeles, they all throw up. Every 10 years, they host, generally spring. They have it at the Town and Country Hotel, I think it is. It's Town and Country. Very nice location. They do a fabulous job. It's being Mother's Day weekend. We should all have some roses still, we hope. We hope. That we could go down and show our roses and our arrangements and stuff at National.
Yes.
Without having to worry about packing things to fly and all that good golly stuff that I just never have tried to do myself. But it's a great opportunity for our district to make a good showing in National and then enjoy the programs. They're going to have some fabulous speakers. So it should be, and I know they're doing a Mother's Day tea, because it will be Mother's Day weekend. So it should be a really, really good time, so I encourage you to go. We'll hear a little bit more about our own conference a little bit later, I think. Lenore, did you have your hand up, or Frank, did you have, Frank? Okay. We'll hear about ours a little bit later. And then, coming for ARS in the fall will be their national convention in Tyler, Texas. And that is a very pretty rose garden if you people don't mind flying to Dallas and driving a few hours to the land of hairpins, or paperclips. Everything's a U-turn. They drew out the city streets with paperclips. Swear to God. But it's a beautiful garden, nice people, some nice nurseries in the area. So that's something you may be interested in.
Do we have a mini convention this year?
We do. We have a mini convention in Jersey, New Jersey. Huh? Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And I'm not sure where the closest airport to that is. I think it's in Pennsylvania, isn't it?
Philadelphia.
Yeah. And that, I think, bless you, I think that one's in July. I want to say it's July.
25 to 27.
Thank you. Very good. It's actually on the here. 25th to 27th. I went to the All-Mini last year at Winston-Salem, and it was a good time. I don't know where some of these people get their roses, but the mini florists were fabulous. So, a lot of fun.
Alice,
Yes.
is that international travel still scheduled for Lyon, France this year? I haven't heard.
Oh, Lyon is next year. It's 2015.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that is, I cheated and added it to my agenda if you don't have it. World Federation of Rose Society's Triennial Convention, Lyon, France, May 26th through June 4th in 2015. And I know they'll have a bunch of pre- and post-convention tours. I don't know if anyone is twisting Lionel's arm to arrange, a special one for ARS members, pre and post. He did a fabulous job for South Africa, but haven't heard anything on that one. But yeah, that's next year. There's a regional in Barcelona. Yeah, and there's another regional in Hyderabad.
India.
Yes. Bad timing. I just had two.
It's in November. Everybody could go to India in November.
Yeah, but I just had two friends who get married in February. I missed their weddings.
Alice?
Yes?
Can we know that all these dates and events are on the district website somewhere?
They're not all, I don't know that they're all on the district website.
They're on ARS.
Not the ARS ones aren't necessarily, and the World Federation one isn't.
Yeah, they're on the World Federation site and ARS site.
Yeah, they're on the national and international sites. Yeah. Our district stuff just has the district.
The criteria.
Criterion, thank you.
Right, you have it.
Other questions? Let's move on to the reports. Greg is traveling this weekend for the Consulting Rosarians, so I got a report from him. I printed it out. Here we go. Okay, for consulting Rosarians, we have 180 consulting Rosarians with 5 people requesting emeritus status. So the paperwork for the emeritus status is in the paperwork mill. He says, thank you for completing the 2013 CR reports, but not everybody did that, and that is a requirement
In our district.
in our district. So please, if the little light bulb goes off that goes, oh yeah, gee, did I do that? Go out, it's on the website, go out and do it anyway. Doing it twice doesn't hurt. But please make sure that you really do that consulting Rosarian report. Keep track of your activities. We try to keep track of your points, but really, the burden of keeping track of those points is yours. You're keeping track of how many points you've got, and do you have that, that critical chemical safety point, which we'll all get this afternoon. Also, if you do keep a log, any expenses that you incurred as part of CR activities, some of those expenses can be tax deductible to a small degree. And if you keep a log, you've got that right there. It's real handy. There will be a consulting Rosarian school in Jackson, Saturday, July 12th. It's going to be at the Senior Center. So if you or someone in your society is interested in becoming a consulting Rosarian or just going, big bang for all 4 points, please consider that. I know it's 2 hours? Took you a little over 2 hours from the Bay Area?
Here,
2.5 maybe? Okay.
lost.
It's kind of hard. Well, I don't get lost finding. That's okay. That's me. So there's that. If there are other societies, either far north or in the Bay Area or down south who are interested in hosting a CR school, please let me or Greg know. Maybe I know Contra Costa just got moved their meeting to a brand new facility at the Civic Center in Pleasant Hill. Very nice facility. So that might be a good spot for having a few things. For the moment, though, we have the one CR school on the calendar. He also asked that people keep their American Rose Society membership up to date. Because if you drop your ARS membership, you are no longer a consulting Rosarian. The two go hand in hand. And you also need to be a member of a local Rose Society. We don't do at-large consulting Rosarians. So he wanted to make sure people were aware of that, because we've lost a few people that way.
And how many years do you have to be a CR before you can attend the school or take the school?
You have to be an ARS member for 3 years to become a CR. You can take the school. We've worked it out that you could actually take the school maybe a little bit earlier if you're really close to that 3-year mark, but we don't turn in the paperwork until you hit 3 years. Because we had that with a couple of folks in Hawaii, since we don't get over there that often. Also for the consulting Rosarians, it used to be a hard requirement, now it's not, and I'm so sorry it's not. Roses in review.
It's a requirement in our district.
It's what?
It's a requirement in our district, but it's not a national requirement. And I'm sorry to say that less than 63% of our CRs bothered to do a Roses in Review report this past year. Yeah, 63%.
District?
I'm
In our
taking
district.
names.
Yeah, that was,
This reflects personally on me. If you guys aren't going to produce, remember, Bill, what do I always say?
I know where you live.
Did you say 63% did or did not?
Did. A little less than 63%. Yeah.
It's down.
That's around a year.
Alice, it's not, it was down to 95% last year.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah. I don't know if everyone heard what Linda said. We had 95% participation last year from our consulting Rosarians.
Even if you don't have any on the list, you can still submit a report.
Thank you, Charlie. Yes, there's, you know, I don't grow any of the roses. That's still a report. So he really wanted to stress that point, because it shows you paying attention.
So Alice, isn't there something we can do to get that back up again? I mean, why?
Well, we can nag mercilessly, which is what Jolie did. Greg's not a nagger.
Greg is much too nice. You know, you guys got used to me, so I'm going to nag for him. I want to see above 95% participation in this for this very next report. And I will get after you. I do that, don't I, Judy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so come on. You'll get monthly reminders from me as we get closer.
Otherwise, I think our CR program is doing very well. So if there's people who don't think they can make Motherlode in July and are interested, you know, let me know, let Greg know, and then maybe we can talk to one of the local societies to say, hey, would you mind hosting a school in your area, and we could get a second school going. Okay, horticulture judges, Bob Parker.
Good morning. Well, contrary to the CR reports, our judges' reports were 100%. First time since I've been doing this, the judges' reports have been 100%. So I want to thank all you judges. I really appreciate getting those in. It's not an ARS requirement to do these reports, but it's a district requirement, like we've been saying. And I really do use the reports. I read all your comments. I'm going to take some of the comments, that I got from the reports this year and make them into topics for discussion in our seminar we've got coming up. And speaking of the seminar, it's going to be April 19th. Going to be 2 locations, the historical Sacramento Cemetery Rose Garden, and then we'll spend the morning there, and then in the afternoon we'll go to Baldo's Acres. Thank you. And at Baldo's Acres, we'll do selecting the court and some ethics topics that I have taken from the reports. The morning at the old Sacramento Cemetery is going to be on Old Garden Roses. And all the judges have already gotten the flyer about it. It'll be sent to all of the current presidents soon. And I've got, I don't know, about 30 copies of them here today, so I'll have those. I'll put them over on that table over there, so anybody that wants it. I'm planning on doing a judging school in 2015 if we have the candidates. I'm not going to do a judging school for 2 candidates, but I would do it for 5 or 6 candidates. So all of you guys go back to your societies. You know who the people in your societies are that want to become judges, or even if they don't want to become judges, are good judge candidates. So work on that, and let me know if you know of any likely candidates, and I'll start emailing them, getting them to start thinking about it. The Modern Roses 12 database is now available to all ARS members. Just go to the ARS website, put in your little password you find in the magazine, and you can access the database. We also have a new well-known judge in our district that just moved here. Steve Jones is now living in our district, and he's available to judge road shows in our district. I understand, I saw Anne Marie around here somewhere. Yeah, I understand, he's not an accredited arrangement judge anymore, from what I understand. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
His address is in the new district directory.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't think I put it in the judges list though.
Yeah, probably not. I still haven't heard from ARS whether, that he's officially moved into the district, but I got an email from him yesterday that he's here and he wants to judge roast shows. And then we have a little presentation we're going to make this morning. We have a judge that's been a judge for over 20 years. She's applied for Judge Emeritus status, and according to the guidelines, that's supposed to be presented by the district director. So I'm going to turn it over to Alice now. Judy, would you come up here, please?
Judy Bonds. Congratulations, kiddo. Thank you for being a judge for so many years.
Judy is a very dear friend of mine. I've known her for a long time, and we're going to really miss her being a judge. And just want to thank Judy for everything she's done for our district. And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions. Anne Marie?
Is there someone here from Sierra Foothills who can take the registration form and check?
Yes, if you want to pay now, you can give to,
Oh, yeah.
I'm the
yeah.
treasurer.
Cindy is the registration person for Sierra Foothills Rose Society for the seminar we're holding in April. So if you want to register today, Cindy is here. Stand up again, Cindy, so she will be glad to take your money. Thank you.
That should be a really fun seminar. I'm really looking forward to it. And it was very nice of Alden to agree to host the afternoon part again. Okay, arrangement judges, Anne Marie.
No tripping. Done that. Anyway, let's see. I would like to remind the judges who are here that you do have to keep up your ARS membership. Otherwise, you lose your judge's status. There are a couple of people who have managed to do that over the last couple of years, so please keep current. It's your responsibility. I would also like to mention we currently have no candidates. I'm looking at the list of all of these horticulture judges as candidates. So I will be nagging you to step forward because I know some of you are very artistically talented. I've seen what you do in the challenge classes, so I know you can do arrangements. And you also grow very good roses. Let's see, we are planning a 4-hour judging seminar. This is to keep all of our judges current. This will be a very small seminar. Barbara Gordon has volunteered. Actually, I shanghaied her into helping with this, and I do appreciate all of her help. And we will probably be right around where she lives for the seminar. So think about it in the future. We're also looking at, we really need garden-grown roses for this seminar. We cannot use the commercial ones because, quite frankly, the quality and the sizing and the foliage just aren't there for our uses. I'm also going to make a plea to the judges because I know many of you have cameras. I need photographs. I'm still working on the PowerPoints that will go out to all of the local societies. This is so you can have a 5 to 15 minute program in the can with a script so you can show people what they can do with their beautiful garden grown roses. Let's see, next on the list is a nag. I will close with a nag. There are guidelines. You can buy a copy, or you can get it for free on the ARS website. Pages 65 to 66. I have noted that last year and this year so far, less than half of the people submitting the show schedules have even bothered to read this. So this has been the bulk of the corrections or suggestions I've made. To those show chairman, schedule chairman, please read the guidelines. There's a 11-point list plus the disqualification and severe penalty sections on pages 65 to 66. If you want to, I can email you the exact text. You can put it in your schedules, and then I'm happy. You're online to give ARS awards, and this will work seamlessly. And I believe that's it for right now. If there are any questions.
Do you have a target date for the...
Target date for the workshop, Barbara and I have to talk today. If someone else wants to also step forward and volunteer their home with gardening that we can go out and work in, that would be totally awesome. I will be here all the rest of, through lunch and through the program, and would be very, very pleased to talk with some of you about your stepping forward with your beautiful roses in your home or perhaps a neighborhood center where we could hold one of these seminars. And we are looking at the Bay Area because that is where most of our judges who need the credit points are. They're nearly all in the Bay Area. So it'd be better for everyone else who's, I think there are only 2 judges outside, to come down here and we can do the school or a seminar here. 2015 I'd like to set as a full candidate school event, and I will be looking ahead toward 2015. So start thinking about what you would like to do and where we could host this thing so that we can get some more arrangement judges for all of your shows. Question?
You're not doing anything in 2014 now?
2014 is a 4-hour seminar to keep our judges accredited. Are you a candidate?
No. I was just wondering if you were going to ask for any homes in 2014.
For a what? I'm sorry?
Any homes in 2014?
We would like that very much. I know Barbara is very good at packing up everything to bring to a location, and I can do the same thing, so we can have the judges' seminar there. Pardon?
Do you want to see me at lunchtime?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you. That's it for now.
Thanks, Anne Marie. I hear that this is echoing along the back. So, but that's like way... So I'm just going to try and hold it a little farther from my face. How's that? And we'll ask other people to do the same. Let's see. Patty is not here for membership. And another one I printed off. Okay, here's Patty's report. She's been membership chairman for 4 years now, and it's been an exciting 4 years because early on, she started sending out personal letters to people who would let their ARS membership expire. So when she started sending these out, we were having a high of 31 expired memberships in late, actually it was late 2011. So we've dropped quite a bit in the number of expiring memberships in the past few years. In October, this past October, we only had 13 to contact, and in November it dropped to 7. So her letter writing has helped, her little reminders have helped greatly. She's real proud of all the societies and the efforts they're doing for making progress and getting members to renew. And that's sometimes hard at the local level because you don't know when people's memberships are renewing for national. And she said, of course, when you do a good job, it makes her job easier. So she's going to continue sending out those personal, membership notices to people when she gets the list for national. And I do think, I think she does a great job because it's a handwritten note, does get good responses. She sent out an email over a month ago asking society presidents for the names of their membership chairs. And she got some responses. She didn't get, I don't think she got nearly 100%. But she wants to have that local society contact to work with her on membership. So when she got somebody back and that person wasn't an elected officer, I put them in the directory as membership chair. This is yet another person you can contact. She also said it will help let each society know if they've got a member who has joined ARS. She'll share that information with the local membership chairperson, so that maybe them or the president can reach out and ask that person, come to a meeting, join our local society. Let's see. As she's mentioned, we're trying to promote ARS membership in the societies. If you've got ideas, please contact her. She's always open to new ideas. She's willing to try new things. And then, of course, she signs it, NCNH District Membership Chairman, which just means that she works for free. So I don't know if anyone would have any questions for Patty. I know she's going to, she'll be updated on all the features of the pilots as well, so that she can help answer questions if need be on the pilots. Okay. Joan Goff. Joan Goff has an additional hat, you didn't notice. Dean Davis, who I don't think made it down today, wrote a very nice note saying he no longer could be chairperson of programs. So I asked Joan if she wouldn't mind, because Joan stepped in at the last minute and called all of our speakers, as many as she could get hold of, and to get updated information for the directory. And Joan agreed to handle programs for the rest of my term, which I think is fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Joan, speakers and programs and speakers.
Hi there. Yes, I did accept Alice's request. So, first, I want to thank everyone who's a program speaker. As a program speaker myself, it's not an easy task the older we get. I don't know how Barbara Gordon does it, but she'll drive anywhere at night, during the day, whatever. I have my own little have to drive during daylight hours because I just don't see very well at night. But I did contact everyone by email, and so the program directory is not totally up to date. Only those people who got back to me, which was probably only about 45 or 50%. So there are some facts that probably aren't still in existence. A few people dropped off the list. But what I'm asking you is, so if you have any great speaker at your own society, please let me know so I can contact that person and put them in the directory. I won't be updating it until probably December, but I will have a new updated list by this time next year. So again, thank you to all the speakers. Our Rose Societies would not exist without great speakers. So thank you again. And if you note in the directory, sometimes my telephone number is correct, and sometimes it has the old one. So if you reach the old one, which is a 707 Sonoma directory, that's not correct and it won't even direct you to the new number. I'm back in San Rafael. I have a new home with 8,000 square foot of yard space, and I'm now planting all those 120 roses that have been in pots for 2 years. So call the 415 number or email me. The email is correct. Thank you.
And is this a challenge keeping up with all those? Okay. And we do have some very good speakers that come around, and you know, sometimes somebody strikes gold with at a local society level, gets a fabulous speaker. Let Joe know. Linda, Ted, Criterion.
Good morning, can you hear me? Okay. I have a short report, but it's a short, naggy report again. We currently have 171 subscribers, and we send out 40 courtesy newsletters which go out across the United States. We need to send out 200 issues a quarter. We're currently doing 211. If we go below that 200 mark, then our bulk mailing permit we cannot use. Right now we pay about 48 cents an issue to send out. If we go off the bulk mailing permit, it costs about $1.50 to send out each criterion. So I am pleading, please try to drum up some subscribers. I have a form that I'm going to send home with everybody. I've got 100 copies. It will be in the criterion every issue for the rest of the year. And if you fill it out and give me your message date, you'll get a criterion next week. So, please, fill it out.
And do you need articles for the criterion?
Always need articles. There's, yes, always need articles. There's a couple of really good articles that are coming out in this issue. There are 3 gentlemen that are working on the rosette disease, and it was published in the Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee magazine, and it is reprinted in the Criterion. Excellent, excellent article. Even though we don't have that problem in the West, it's always a good where to see what it potential can be, because it can be devastating. This is a great article on that, and a culmination of the CRs on how well we did on reporting in the CR districts, and we did not do that well. So we really need to drum up our Rose and Review program. Yes?
We have a member in our society, Tommy and Susie Johnson, that are giving out a subscription to the Criterion as a raffle prize. Every time we have a meeting, they donate a raffle, that as a raffle prize. You might think of that in your own societies. It's great.
Yes?
Suggestion for the good of the order, send out an application by email to each of the presidents and then have them distribute that on their emails to their members.
Thank you. It's a good idea. We're doing more and more electronic things. Any other, did you walk away with my agenda?
Barbara?
You took some stuff. Yeah. Stop me. Okay. John Shaw. Nominations and awards. There he is. And the Criterion is a fabulous, fabulous publication, so we really do want to keep, get people signed up.
see that Linda walked off with the agenda because I did that at our district meeting a few months ago, so don't feel so bad about it now. Last time that I spoke to you, I was presenting the Silver Honor Medal to Rosemary Sawyer, who happens to be here with Silver Medal Honor on. Rosemary, it was a great pleasure.
Around his neck already.
Yes. Again, for the coming year, or this year now, we need to select an additional, or another Silver Honor Medal nominee, and hopefully award a Silver Honor Medal. I've sent out an email to all the members of the committee from last year, and we've had 3 additions, 3 people who replaced people from last year. Michael Braun from the San Joaquin Valley Law Society. Elsina is taking over for her society, and Rosemary is taking over for her society. The rest of you who have been contacted, I haven't heard from all of you yet. I have heard from a few. We have, I think, 3 candidates nominated so far, and would like to hear from the rest of the members of the committee to put together a slate that will constitute the final balloting, which will begin probably in late April. Yes?
Can a person who's on the committee be nominated for an award if they're on the awards committee?
No.
No.
I think the answer is no. I'd have to look at the rules again, but I think the answer is no. And in fact, I know the answer is no, now that I think about it.
Are the members listed on the website so that you would know whether somebody's on the committee or not?
Well, the people who are nominated, are on the nominating committee, have a list of everyone that's on the committee. They're the ones who do the nominating. So that, in fact, I included a list of everyone on the committee, their email addresses, and all the rest in part of that communication. Yes,
You
Joe?
might explain to him that it is not secret who's on the committee, and he should know from his own society who that person is.
Yes, as Jolene pointed out, once upon a time it was a secret membership, but that no longer is true. It is not on the district website as far as I know. It could be included if we want to. But each of the committee members does have a list of the other committee members' names and contact information. Any questions? Any other questions? Yes, Jillian.
So if you don't know who if you're just a regular person and you're not on the committee, who do you talk to if you've got a good idea for a Silver Honor Medal candidate if you don't know who your home society person is?
It is the obligation of the local society president to appoint someone to the committee, so the person you need to talk to directly is your local society president, who will know who the committee member is. You can also contact me, and I'd be happy to tell you who it is, either now or some other time.
Previous minutes are in the district directory.
Yes.
Also in the communication that I sent out, there's a list of current living recipients of the Silver Honor Medal who are no longer eligible to get one again. I suppose if you move to another district, you might be able to qualify, I'm not sure. But we won't worry about that. Yes?
This is also in the district directory every year.
Yes. Who have received the Silver Honor Medals. All right, thank you.
Thanks, John. So if you have so to sort of recap, all the current medal winners are in the directory. And if you have an idea for someone you think might be a good candidate, and you don't know who your club's representative on the committee is, talk to your local Rose Society president, and They should know. Now, that is a 3-year appointment. It goes concurrently with the director's term. So, yeah, it doesn't, we don't reappoint everybody every year, and I know your presidents sometimes can change year to year to year. Your awards membership committee person only changes every 3. So you don't know if you're a local Rose Society president, and you don't know who your representative is, ask John.
Since you say it's no longer a secret, but it's also against our rules to canvass, so it has to be a confidential.
Well, we can't, you can't, right, campaign, thank you. Yeah, you can't campaign for it, but anybody can suggest a nominee, but you can't campaign for it.
Anybody from any society?
Yes.
Yes, they can. They need to tell they need to tell their representative on the committee, hey, as you know, I don't know who you thought of, but here's somebody I'd like to recommend. They can take it or leave it. You know, but they can at least make a recommendation. It's up to that committee person to take it forward. So if I have a bright idea about, oh, I think, you know, so-and-so would be a good candidate for the Silver Honor Medal, I would have to tell, I think it's Eileen for our society, I would have to tell Eileen, it'd be up to her to do something with it or not. Okay. We're running fast again, aren't we? Speaking of nominations and awards, I'm just going to slow things down a second. People in this room need to think about who's going to be the next district director, deputy director, secretary treasurer, etc. Our terms end next year. There's no avoiding eye contact. Okay? I am turned out. Jolene is turned out. You know, someone's going to need to step forward. Now, there are some requirements, if you will, to be a director. You're a member of the board. You need to get butte to, you know, in person to the board meetings. Right? So twice a year, you've got to be able to travel to the board meetings. The other expectation is that you support financially the Rose Society, you make donations to the Rose Society, and that you're willing, to whatever degree you can, to solicit, you know, donations on behalf of the Rose Society as well. Now, what I do is I neg our treasurer, and we make a donation out of the district treasury on behalf of the whole district, and then I nag you guys to say every club, every local Rose Society should be a patron. Right? But you do need to be in person at the board meetings. This isn't something you phone in. They're actually pretty interesting. The first one of every term is a little bit longer while everybody does a sort of little handshake, pass off, glad, you know, get to know you, all those good things. But think about it, because it's only another year we'll be voting on it. Right? So show of hands. Show of hands. It's a 3-year term.
What a good group.
Right. Okay. Do think about it. Because we need a district director. We are, what, the second largest district, I think, in the country?
Yes, we are.
It's important that we are properly represented. I tend to be a little vocal, not as vocal as some, but a little vocal, and I don't just necessarily go with the crowd, which is something you need to be able to do. You need to be able to speak your mind.
Is there anything in writing so that we could promote it within our group societies?
In our district bylaws.
It's in
It's
there.
in the bylaws, but
And
is
those
that got enough? Oh, hang on a second. I've got bylaws. Sorry. In bylaws, it says I'm gonna pitch my printer out the window. Organizations, executive officers, the district director, nominated at the fall meeting prior to the annual triennial election, which means we need to nominate somebody this fall.
That's right.
What fun! Okay, that's for the deputy directors and stuff. The district director actually goes in the magazine.
Yep. Is there a nominating committee?
There will be one appointed in the fall. But that's for the other offices. That's for deputy district director, secretary.
Doesn't
and
work like garden club.
person. Yeah. It's got, yes,
Also, my term ends with yours, so
And-
that's
and-
another position that needs to be filled.
right, and nominations and awards also, that's a national position.
And CR.
Consultant Rosario gets appointed.
The CR chair is all the CR.
All
reps.
of the positions, all of the chairperson positions are 3-year positions, but they are appointed, recruited, they're not voted on. So there'll be a whole turnover potentially in 2015. So it says on page, my printer cut it off, Article 5, Section 1, District Director shall serve as the chairperson of the District Council and the Executive Committee, preside at meetings, appoint all committee chairpersons, in the event of resignation or inability of someone to serve, appoint a successor, which we just did with Dean Davis, appoint a financial review committee at the spring meeting before the end of the director's term. That will be next year. Communicate to local societies any decisions made by the district council, and those are in our minutes. So actually, I pass that off to Betty. Report activities at the district council and the business meetings, and I hate my printer. Sorry.
It's in the bylaws, we can find it.
It's in the bylaws. Yeah, it's in the website. So,
Thank you.
but there's more to it than that as far as the part about being in person at the meetings, being, a financial supporter as well. That's a national, and where is it on the web? I'm sorry. I have a hard time finding stuff on the new website.
You're not the only one. We've got amateurs in control.
Jolene, could you?
Certainly.
Get in the spotlight.
The district directors from all of the 18 districts, once they report in and they're duly elected in their district, which is every single one of them is going to happen next year, the incoming president, which will be Pat Shanley, will be asking each of the district directors to apply to one of the national committees if she hasn't already chosen one of them to chair a committee. If they're not chairing, they're expected to serve on a committee at the pleasure of that committee's chairman, so they have to ask. We don't want district directors just sitting there not participating in ARS business. So we make them work, and we keep them working. That's what we do with them nationally. They vote for you. So your cumulative wisdom is needed. You need to tell Alice whenever you see something happening with ARS or not happening with ARS and you want to complain about it, so she can take that to the board meeting. And she stands up and complains. She's a very good district director. I do have some who just sit there and collect dust, and I can't seem to motivate them. I have definitely tried, including inviting them to a small meeting, and we talk about it. Turns out they didn't want to be district director anyway, and they're only coming because they're being forced by their wife or their husband or whatever.
I hope that doesn't happen to us. There are about 15 people sitting in this room right now who would be quite capable of being a very good district director for the NCNH district. And when Alice says that we're the second largest, that's going some. It's both with membership and geographically. Remember, we stretch all the way to the Hawaiian Islands. From Reno all the way to the Hawaiian Islands. From the Oregon border all the way to the Mexican border. We include all of Nevada except the little bubble around Las Vegas, and thank God we don't have them. We're a good district. Our participation, except for what you've already heard me complain about last year, has been very good, and we are looked up to by the other districts. They want to do it our way. They have asked for copies of our bylaws, which they get. They have asked me personally, how do you manage to do this and that and this and that? All of our people are willing to share. I saw a hand back there.
Yeah, I was just wondering if the Mexican border had now moved up to Fresno.
That's right. It has moved up to just below Fresno. We don't go, I was thinking nationally, we don't go that far down. Because we do have the Pacific Southwest, but you know, who counts them? What? We could have had Guam, but that serviceman has returned to the United States. But any time, this is weird, because it's APO San Francisco, that's their mailing address. So the servicemen serving in Guam or some of the islands over there, I include them as part of our district.
How about American Samoa? American Samoa?
American Samoa also, if they're there, usually they aren't. You know, it has to be an active base. I've never been able to claim Djibouti. I always thought that would look cute because nobody at National knows where the heck Djibouti is.
Thank you. Oh, but where on the website do they say what the expectations of the board members are? I'm gonna have to dig for that and put it out there.
The ARS website?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask at a board meeting?
Because we asked here.
I've got old notes.
She's coming to the board meeting in San Diego.
Yeah, and I have some old notes somewhere as to, because you agree to this stuff. So do seriously think about it.
Alice?
Yes. Rose.
I would officially nominate Anne Marie Harris as our next district director. She has agreed. Richard agreed.
Excellent.
Moving right along.
All right. Thank you. I was going to say, Rose, you're not turned down.
That's true.
Put it in the minutes.
Put it in the minutes. Okay, and thank you, Anne Marie.
Should we second vote on it already?
No, we can't. And if someone else wants to step forward, we can actually have
A contest.
a contest, yes. All right, Joan, site development, conferences.
Thank you very much. Site development. We need a site for next year's fall conference. We have open both fall 2015 and fall 2016. I would love to think about combining a couple of Rose Societies, knowing that this is difficult for some. So if you're interested, please contact me as soon as possible. I'm willing to help you to come to your board meeting, to talk to your members. And Marin is doing this fall's convention. We've done it, this is our second one, so I have some experience in doing it. And knowing that it is difficult, it's really nice to have a 2-year time period, which you would have if you did the 2016. And even having just 1 year would be great. So I have a couple of people in mind, and I will contact you directly and hopefully come to your board meeting and talk to you about it. But if anyone's interested, please see me. I know that in other districts, the district director just goes through the list and they go from one Rose Society to the next. We don't do that here, so it's up to you to contact me. Anyway, I will be contacting some others, and hopefully by our next meeting I'll have some information. Thank you.
And we could take that approach. Meeting, lighting. Okay, Gail's not here. And she had no report. I think our website, I think she did a fabulous job. So, pardon me?
It's webbing right along.
It's webbing right along. You got it. Dave Coop is not here. He sold the Rockland house, and so they're busy doing all the last minute move them out. But moving roses too, isn't he? I think.
Garage sale today and tomorrow.
Pardon?
Garage sale today and tomorrow.
Garage sale today and tomorrow. Okay. He's obviously, clearly, otherwise occupied. He did send a brief email, which I have to find because these aren't in order. You'll excuse me for a second. There we go. Okay, Dave's report is actually rather brief. It's, he'll continue to use the trophy photos at the next fall conference. The actual trophies are in his climate-controlled self-storage unit. We'll consider other options at a future board or business meeting. So right now he's got them in his storage unit. Who went to the fall conference last year? Okay, and did all of you see the fabulous photos that Dave took, mounted, and displayed at the challenge classes, for the district challenge classes? He did a fabulous job. We did not bring the real trophies. They stayed in the storage unit, but he did a fabulous job, glossy, beautiful job of beautiful photos of each trophy, and then had a sheet of paper with it showing who had won that trophy over the years. And then if you won that class, you actually got a little folder type certificate that had a picture of it on it as well. So he did a fabulous job. And I'm just sorry he's not here to bask in the appreciation, but he did an excellent job.
He emailed me, is there someone in this group today that has a trophy that needs to be given to him, returned to him, that I can take home? No. Okay.
Did you hear that? Does anyone have a district trophy in their possession that needs to get back today?
We forgot to bring it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Please come to the church and I will show it to
Okay, great.
Okay.
Uh,
Ron?
I still think we need to do something with these trophies besides store them in a storage unit. It's a shame to have them there. I still think we need to start thinking about some home for them, some place like the Hall of Flowers in San Francisco, or give them to some place where the trophies could be a permanent home for them instead of just stored in a dark old storage unit.
Yeah, it's kind of a challenge since we don't have a physical site, you know, physical location for like district headquarters, like National does. And
Send them to the National.
send it to National. I'm afraid they put it in the closet. They're gonna be blown away by a hurricane or a tornado. But it is a shame on the one hand that people, you know, did present with, you know, beautiful trophies, but they are, you know, hard to carry around, and not everybody wanted to take them home when they won them, which is a darn shame. Okay, Ernie and Sue, the raffle. We're selling tickets now. Okay.
No, don't, just stay where you are, raise your hand.
Okay.
It's easier.
Okay.
Okay, there.
Sue's going around table to table selling tickets. And what's our going rate today?
Special today, 6 for $5.
6 for $5.
Whatever.
For $5. Cindy's helping. And we do have a fabulous display on the raffle table. And don't forget, I know this is district raffle, but also don't forget the silent auction. Okay, Roses in Review and District Directory. We talked a bit about Roses in Review. Everybody's packet, and I hope that all the societies here picked up your packet. Everyone gets a copy of Roses in Review. It's a little thinner than prior years because we only rated 125 roses, different varieties. Partly because this year's list was shorter, just how it worked out. We've talked about how many, the low turnout, if you will, or the low participation rates that we had this year. We only had about 145 people in the district do Roses in Review, which is just, it's really low, but you know, we actually still won with the highest number of reviewers in the nation. So what does that say for all the other districts?
Imagine what we could do if we had 100%.
Yeah, and imagine what we could do if we had 100%. We did not get, we won with the highest number for the district. We did not win for the highest percentage of members for the district. I think that went to, was it Deep South? Might have been Deep South. We could do so much better. And don't forget, our input into those ratings goes into the handbook. So all of your comments, and the comments help, but the numbers, because it's all down to the game of numbers, those numbers on the Gardner rating, that's what goes into the handbook. So if you want a rating that you've helped influence, those numbers in the handbook mean a little bit more to us, right? So it's kind of in to our own benefit to make sure we get our licks in. Now, did everyone see the Member's Choice on the magazine, Randy Scott? There were only 5 reports on that in this district. I did not, the district representatives to the Roses and Review Committee get to vote for Member's Choice. The national chair pulls all the numbers together, distills it down to about 3 candidates, sends it out for us to vote on. I did not vote for Randy Scott because we only had 5 people rated. You don't see it much in the district. Quite honestly, it's not that easy to get hold of. The one I voted for was Dick Clark. Oh well. We know. Dick Clark got a lot of votes and got a very good rating in our district. Another one, I'm going to forget the name of it. It's a magic show. It's a mini. That did very well too.
There's one over there in the raffle.
One in the raffle? Good deal. Okay, people will be zoning in on that. So do what? When the list comes out in the summer, please take the insert, start marking it up, do it on the website. If there are any suggestions for the website, We'd like to hear it, get that back to the folks who do it. There's always a little bit of room for improvement. Jolene?
If people want to buy Randy Scott, they can order it from K&M Nurseries.
Okay, that'll be up to you.
That's Jim Mills. He also grows bare root.
Okay. Randy Scott is available from K&M Nurseries.
We didn't get a question or whatever.
Oh, the question was, because we only had a handful, literally, of reports on Randy Scott, which showed up as members' choice. If anyone does like the rose, is interested in acquiring it, K&M does sell it. Joe?
Alice, I think we should also point out that Judy Frederick's photo of Easy Dozen, I believe, was on the AR's booklet this year.
Oh, hey, Judy. Excellent.
What was that?
Judy Frederick's picture of Easy Does It is on the handbook. Yeah. And Sally and Lou both have pictures in the calendar. Charlie?
If there's a rose that you love and you just see its number going down over the years in the handbook and you don't understand why, who should you talk to?
Wow. Probably, well, if it's going down in the handbook, it's probably going down with it used to be the triennial survey, now I think it's every 5-year biennial survey, where all the roses in the handbook, we ask people to say, is that a good number? Should it go up a half point, down a half point, and stay the same? It shouldn't change. After the first 3 years, the number shouldn't change until, for another 5 years. The first 3 years, it can change because a rose is in the Roses in Review for 3 years. And it's going to vary, waiting for that whole rating to sort of stabilize. And then after 3 years, it stabilizes, and then it goes in the 5-yearly survey.
Is there a department in the ARS that you would contact to ask questions like that, and also why certain roses don't show up after a certain number of years?
Yes. Well, that would be Don Swanson. He's Don Swanson. He's the chair of Roses in Review.
And he's on the website.
He's on the website, and he does the handbook. The handbook, the reason things fall out of the handbook is just, there's only so much room. It's not Roses, it's not Modern 12 database. We limit it to so many pages. I don't know what his criteria is for dropping things so that other things can be added. Otherwise, your new roses would never show up. He's got some sort of a criteria. I'm sure. I think Phil probably devised. Phil being the statistician that he is, probably came up with some sort of a rule of thumb for we'll take this one out. They may even, another thing that comes into play is combined rose list. And if a rose is no longer in commerce, it may be a candidate for also for removing. But Don would know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of it has to do, I'm in the commercial area, sell roses for a living. A lot of it has to do with the introduction of new roses and varieties. Chrysler Imperial, as an example, when it was introduced, was popularity either it gone down, but somebody else was taking its place. That's for a reason a lot of that happened, because it's based on reports that we did from all over, and that's the way it is. So an awful lot of it based on the introduction of new varieties that hopefully are improving. I know they are, because they're developed 50 years ago.
Yeah, so so the new varieties will displace some of the old ones. Some of the old varieties, though, they're still strong in commerce, and they stay in the book. Even though they're
still one of my best sellers.
Yeah, Bryson, yeah. I saw another hand. No, maybe that was a raffle ticket hand. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of factors that would go into that, but yeah, we would never see the new ones in the handbook if we didn't dropped something. But they're still on the Modern Cult database. For the directory, I did a little bit of cleanup. There were some people who were no longer officers and no longer, and not CRs or judges, whose names I removed. I did add Steve Jones to the directory, since he's in our district now. He's a past ARS president. He's also our World Federation president, although I don't think I put that part in there because we're ARS. But anyway. So you'll see Steve's information.
Fiddletown.
He's in Fiddletown. He's part of Motherlode. Yes. When he's not on the road. He still does a lot of traveling, lots and lots of traveling, lots of speaking. But yeah, he's up in the Motherlode area now. So if you find any mistakes in the directory, let me know. I'm only human. Also, there are some, I can't put this casually, really, really old people.
We're all old.
Well, we're all old, but I'm thinking like really, really. Is Annette Dobbs still around? She is, okay. There are some people whose names have been in there for so long, I'm thinking, are they still really alive? But I have no way of knowing. And if they're not, I put a little asterisk, if they were an honor medal recipient, I'll put a little asterisk. But I don't want to do it and then find out that, oh no, they're still there. So if you find something like that, let me know, please. Notice the fact. Yeah, and you know how things get distorted. Someone sent out an email that someone's wife had passed, and what came back around was that he had passed. And it's like, no. He called so-and-so to say that his wife had just died. And unless he was speaking from the grave, but things get turned around. It's like you start a whisper in one ear, and by the time it gets 20 years away, it's something totally different. So please, if there is anything that you need changed in the directory for next year, let me know. It's in a database, so that hopefully I only have to key it in once or maybe twice. You know what I didn't put on here? Joe, I didn't have you on my committee reports.
That's okay.
Well, come on here.
Just quickly, as it was earlier mentioned, we will be selecting the nominating committee in Marin at the fall conference, who will be selecting candidates for the district officers, who will then be elected at the spring meeting next year, 2015. The officers have to be elected before the triennial election, which is in June, July of 2015. Our officers have to be in place. District director, that's different. That person or persons, fill in their application, send it to ARS, and then if there's more than one candidate, they're on the ballot to be elected by ARS members. So I will need 5 members, one of each from a different society, to be on the nominating committee. So if you're interested, think about it. We will take nominations or suggestions at the fall meeting to select the nominating committee for the 2015 slate of officers. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. So they have to be ARS members, right?
Right.
And 5 people, but each from a different society. Okay. All right, old business. Fall convention report. Mike, you got some words for us? And I do want to thank San Joaquin Valley once again. They had a fabulous time. It was
I want
time. I've gotten nothing but great comments back from everyone who attended, so I appreciate all the great input. Alice wanted me to go over kind of what was involved with us putting this together to encourage other people to put on conferences. We put ours together in a fairly short time because we had actually put our name in for this meeting last spring. So we had, 6 months to put on a conference. There was only about less than a dozen people in our local society who were really active in putting this together, and it's a great bunch of people that helped do this, and we worked really hard. It was nerve-wracking and time-consuming, but it turned out very well. We ended up with 67 people registering for the conference. We had to refund 3 registrations due to health reasons that those 3 people did not attend. Otherwise, we had really good attendance for everybody that signed up. We got a lot of great donations. East Bay Society gave us a great donation. A lot of individuals gave us outstanding donations. We did really well in our raffle that we had at the reception. And we came out in the black at about $3,500 on the conference. So if it wasn't such hard work, it'd be a good thing to do every year. But that's the hard part, is getting the people together and put in the work. And it really, doing the format that we did with the fair, it was the only way it would work for us, because we didn't have the personnel to put the show on. So the fair, putting that part of the event on for us was a great help. And it added a completely different aspect to the conference that we hadn't seen before, so I think it made it kind of fun. So if anyone has any questions about putting on a conference, you can ask me and I'll bamboozle you some more. Thanks.
Did you want that? I'm going to staple it to the podium next time. But no, it was a great, and it was just very hardworking crew that I know you guys worked really, really hard, but you had it all well organized. You could tell they were working really well with everybody at the hotel. It just went very, very well. Okay. New business. Okay, we need a meeting invitation for, I think my printer cut this off again. We need an invitation for the fall convention. I don't think that made it out like this. But we need an invitation for the fall convention. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you, Alice. I'm Frank Treadway from the Marin Rose Society, and we welcome you to come and join us in San Rafael, California, where we're going to have a fall conference for the district. This is something that we have had some pleasure in trying to design, because we're thinking of bringing as many of you there, bringing in some new people, having a wonderful range of speakers, talking on different topics. The hotel is going to be very comfortable and nice. We'll take over the whole place. It's not so huge that we'll have a lot of competing groups there. We have all the meeting rooms. We have great showrooms for the Roses. We have an early bird rate. If you sign up before September 2nd, there'll be a discount, and our Rose Society will help subsidize that discount. We do have, it starts October 10th, which is a Friday. So there'll be a reception that night during the daytime, of course, registration, and we're going to have a photography show, and you'll hear something about that from our chair people who are putting that together. We also have, of course, all-day Saturday speakers. lots of activities with that, as well as the road show. We'll have an arrangement show. We do have the grand banquet, with some very wonderful awards being presented there. There is a kind of a la carte menu if you don't want to come for the whole inclusive package, which we encourage you to do because it's cheaper. You do save money if you do that, but people can pick and choose. We will adjourn after the business meeting on Sunday. There's some garden tours then. And then the next day is Columbus Day, so there's another holiday if you want to stay and visit Sonoma, Napa, San Francisco. We'll have literature and ideas for tours and activities and the wineries to see, so that you have plenty of opportunity to explore not only Marin County, but Sonoma and Napa. We hope you do that, and San Francisco too. We have Sandy Simon, who knows about our speakers, and I hope you all have a flyer. This is a preliminary flyer. We will have announcement for registration in the criterion, and also all the society presidents will have registration forms. They're being devised now.
Thanks, Frank. Okay, I was in charge of getting speakers, and it's been thrilling getting this lineup, because we have Carolyn Parker, Burling Leon, Greg Lowry, Saxon Holt, who's an amazing photographer, Bob Martin, Ping Lim, Christian Bedard, and our keynote speaker is going to be Claire Martin. So to get them all, let's see, Saturday most of them will be speaking. Sunday, Ping Lim and Christian Bedard will be speaking. Joanne Adams is going to give a consulting Rosarian seminar on Friday. So we're really hoping all of you can come, and I hope you go back to your societies and talk about it, because we're putting in so much hard work, so much planning. We're going to have a dazzling roadshow. So hope to see you all there.
Hey, is Ping bringing a translator?
So this year we are hoping to bring photography to the district. And we were so fortunate after trying to figure out how to show these, what mechanism could we use to show your wonderful photographs. And we were able to find a local photographer who is renting his photography panels at just $10 a panel, which hold 8 photographs. And he is going to deliver them and pick them up for us. So we are so excited. The only problem is that we can only have this room on Friday. So if you are a photographer, and we know you're out there, we have outstanding photographers in this district. You've won at the ARS magazine level, you're on our calendars, you're on our handbooks. So we're really putting a big effort to putting on a photography option for you to take advantage of. I will be using the guidelines that they use in Pacific Southwest District. I'm working with Sally Long. She is kind enough to provide all of that and our guidelines. Uh-oh, I see a crunchy face there from Jolene. But it's our first start, and we are going to ask that you mount your photographs in a professional way, and that will all be coming to you, and it'll be up on our website. So that will come to you. How many people would consider bringing in photographs? Wonderful, wonderful. I think we can take up to 90 photographs or more. It'll be on a first come, first served, and I will ask you, I think a week before, to register with me and give me your intentions on how many photographs. You can enter up to 2 in one section. So we're just looking forward to having a wonderful show. It will be judged Friday evening early, and then we will open up the divider and you'll get to view it at the reception Friday. And we hope to do a little talk through of how the photographs, how we decided on these as our winning photographs. Any questions about entering photographs? You do?
Who are you?
Yes.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Betty Mott, M-O-T-T.
Thank you.
Well, bring them?
Yes, you have to personally bring yours in. You could try sending them, but there are regulations on the size and it could be costly for you. So this is our incentive to get you, or you can bring them to my house ahead of time. If you don't want to do the mail thing and you're real nervous about the conditions of your mats and that, you're welcome to bring them to my house in Mill Valley. Rose?
Is there a time that they need to be in on Friday or just
We haven't determined that yet, but it will be happening really soon. We hope to firm down the schedule and all that to have out to you. But I'm so excited that you're enthusiastic about it. The hardest thing is getting a way to show photographs and judge them. So being able to do that at a reasonable price without having to pay to store these units is just a great thing that we discovered. And that you might be able to do that too. Checking with local photographers who have shows, they're often willing to rent out their equipment. Any other? Oh, yes.
I think, didn't you say the judging is going to start at 5?
We haven't set any time yet, but we will allow you time to get them there, and we will judge as long as it'll take. And I hope to be inviting some judges. Anyone who would like to contact me, you have to be a horticultural judge or an arrangement judge, and we do need to have at least one arrangement judge because there's one category where you take pictures of arrangements. And so we do need to have an expert for that. We are welcome to have photographers be there as consultants, but technically they're not supposed to be able to cast a vote because previously they look for that artsy piece that might be a rose that's horrible. And you know, you're supposed to give most points for horticulture, not just because it looks really neat. So this is why we will be using horticultural judges and arrangement judges. So if anyone is interested in joining the team, we hope to have 2 teams of 3 judges. Yes?
How far in advance do they have to notify you?
It'll probably be just a week before because we need to know how many panels we need to have and get a crew to set them up. And when you bring them in, the reality is that there's the top row, the middle row, and then there's the row at the bottom. So the early birds, unfortunately, we're going to, as they come in, there'll be catalog coming in, and we're going to present them that way. They'll all be judged equally, believe me.
Want notification by email or telephone?
It will be by email, but I'll give my telephone as well. I'm so glad to see this enthusiasm for photography. It's very exciting. And the rules on how to mount will be there too. The reason why we have to be uniform on this as well is to be able to plan for how many will fit on these panels. So, any other questions? Anne Marie.
Just a comment. The Reno Rose Society provided the photograph stands for the 2013 show, and we still have those. We still are willing to lend those out.
We thought about that, but the driving distance and the logistics of it, we did consider it, but we were having to think, who would be willing to go get them, to be there by Friday, and so that was our problem. So, any other questions or comments? All right, well, we look forward to filling all those panels and getting to share them with you at our reception, opening reception. Thank you.
I am going to take it down next time. Mine. Okay. And thank you. I'm so looking forward to this. They've done a fabulous job on rounding up, just a great selection of speakers. So please encourage all of your members to come. This is our district convention, and it promises to be really exciting, really good. Do we have someone from Gold Country to invite us for spring?
I'm Judy Frederick. I'm current president of Gold Country Rose Society, and we meet in Auburn on the second
Tuesday of each month, except in summer. We're inviting you to come up to Auburn on March 14th, 2015. And we will be also trying to get a motel with a package rate in case you want to make a weekend in the Gold Country. We'll have brochures and whatnot from the chamber so that you can see what all the other fun things are to do. We will have a Gold Rush theme because that's who we are. We will be at the Bell Road Baptist Church. It is 707 Bell Road. And that is Freeway Easy off of I-80 or the Grass Valley Highway, Highway 49. Registration will be very similar to this at 8:30 in the morning with the meeting to start at 9 with the continental breakfast, raffle, potluck lunch, and we plan an educational seminar in the afternoon also. So plan to make a day of it. Anything else, Diane? She's my chair on this. Not yet. Okay, we'll let you know more as we get closer, but we welcome you to come up to Auburn and see what it's all about. Thanks, Alice.
And Muriel, did you or Elsina want to say anything more about the CR school in July in Jackson? I know we mentioned it earlier, but it always bears repeating.
We want everybody to come.
They want everybody to come, yes.
Just briefly, we're so honored to have another CR school in Jackson, July 12th. It will be potluck, and I encourage everyone in their society, if you have a candidate or a potential candidate, please bring them. If you want to earn points, please come. We have a great venue. We'll have a wonderful breakfast. I don't know if we can compete with this, but it will be a wonderful day, and I'd like to see many, many new CRs come. We have had new CRs from our school before. And I helped Greg set it up, and I turned it over to him. And he's doing a fantastic job as district CR chair. So let's support him with his school and get some new CRs. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Okay. Conference bids. We need volunteers for spring of 2016. So the business meeting in 2016. I heard some rumblings out there. Come on. Anything come of those rumblings? I don't know, someone in the Bay Area? Greater Bay Area? Okay, not the Bay Area. Anybody interested in hosting the business meeting for, will be March of 2016? Do take it back to your societies. It's not, I don't think it's quite that onerous, but,
Pretty simple.
pardon?
Pretty simple.
It's pretty simple,
March of 16, Redwood Empire.
March? Okay. 16, okay. Thank you. Redwood Empire, March of 2016, right, 2016. Cool.
No date.
Next up, the biggie, we need a district conference for 2015. In 2015, you'll be installing a new director. So it would be nice to have some planning, time to plan, roll out the carpet. I'll have party hats. So we need someone or several societies, pool your resources for fall of 2015. And then of course, it never hurts to get fall of 2016 out there. Make it easier for the next person. To get these things planned, because the more time you have, I think it's easier, because we've got a few societies who can attest to it can be done in a short period of time. It's probably a little more sane to, have that extra time to do it. 2015. fall, late September, early October. Do we have a date for fall for national yet?
For which year?
2015 fall, that's going to
Yes,
probably be
that's
New York.
Syracuse.
Yeah,
Yes, it's,
because we need to avoid that one, that weekend. I just can't remember what it is.
right.
Yeah, okay, we both have it. Okay,
It's in September.
it's in September.
I
So
think
we
the
can look
third
at-
weekend.
So we can look at October of 2015. We've got some areas that could pull their resources. Gee, guys. All right. Fickle finger here is going to start. I was reminded, I've got something here on standing rules. I don't think we have any standing rule changes or candidates at the moment. But it's probably time that we just review and see if there are any changes needed to the bylaws or the standing rules. And Joe, would you be willing to chair a group to look at bylaws? So we would need probably 5 people, the most, to take a look at the bylaws and the standing rules and see if there are any updates that need to be made. And again, following what we do for the nominating committee, probably best if that's spread among different societies. Rose?
For the revision of the bylaws.
Okay, so we've got a volunteer already.
I have a question.
Charlie?
Does it have to be in person or can it be by email? By computer or both?
By computer?
Depends on the bylaws.
In other words,
99% of it would be done by email, and we may have one final meeting just to wrap it up. But everything would be, you know, we all have, the committee would have the bylaws, go over them, and make suggestions for changes to everybody on the committee, and then Charlie?
So we've got Rose and we have Charlie. Did I see another hand go up? Or...
Jolene?
Okay, no, I think Jolene's nominating Sue.
No,
Oh, you're volunteering?
volunteering.
Okay, so Jolene and Sue.
Sue? Need one more? Okay, thank you.
And Betty. Excellent.
Thank you. I'll be in touch.
Good deal. Okay, any other new business? Yes?
I'm from Newtown. We would like to have a discussion about the insurance. We have several questions we'd like to ask.
Okay.
Among our questions are, what is the date of the membership roster that we're asked to submit? And secondly, do you have any examples of claims against the insurance that have been made over the last 3 years? We asked a lot of questions of Laura Fender, and we got some answers, but we were left very much in the dark about what any deductions might be if there was an event that we would make a claim. So we'd like to open this discussion.
Okay, good. But now, for North Bay, I know I submitted the best roster I had.
What date?
And I submitted, well, the cutoff was the end of February. So that's...
New members only?
No, it was my entire roster, because they need what they're looking for is the head count. So,
people who had paid for that year.
So what is their calendar year? What is the year the insurance is due?
I mean, we have members of a membership list in December, and then we have January as our renewal.
Right,
So
same here.
In January, we don't have as many members as we have in February, so we like a date.
Right, and that's kind of a challenge. I know when I do the directory,
End of February.
when I do the directory, I ask, I'm really looking for your end of year numbers, because we all go through that sort of swoop in January, February, most people. But if just your membership roster as of February, will be fine. Yeah. Now, I don't know if anyone here has actually had to make a claim. Has anyone, Julie?
No, none of us have done that, but remember, we had a tornado. And so the insurance had to cough up for that, less the deductible, of which, when we then had the campaign for tornado relief, we came within $3,000 of covering the deductible, so that was good. So ARS was only out of pocket $3,000 for all the damage. Our underwriter told me that nationally, many of the small hobby clubs, not just horde clubs, were going to face a rise in the cost of insurance because of all the storms on the East Coast and in the North. Terrible, terrible, terrible liability damage with roof collapsing, buildings collapsing, people being killed because of the storm. And so we at ARS, we told you in a letter that we were really sorry we couldn't find it any cheaper to cover what needed to be covered. But if you didn't want to take it, that was fine. Find it some other way. It's not going to harm ARS if you don't take the ARS insurance. What our underwriter has done for us is made a, not a deal, but a handshake. They are charging ARS for 100% of the societies taking the insurance, and then at the end of February, which is now passed, those societies that did not take it will be removed from that list, and any monies collected from ARS for those societies for the insurance would be refunded. So it's not going to hurt ARS if you don't fight because of the rise. But I do know that Garden Club also went up a little bit. The toys and trains people went up a little bit. I have personal friends in that. So it was the smallest rise that they could eke out, and that was it. But the big stuff is the liability from storm damage. It's just been horrific last year. Personal claims were minor. I mean, somebody stumbled in a parking lot and broke their leg. That kind of stuff, so.
Jolene, I'm missing the point. Storm damage, what is that like? We rent out a hallway basically, and the main thing we concern is somebody trips and then sues us for personal injury. I'm not quite sure why.
What John is saying is personal injury is what our clubs are interested in. If we're having a meeting somewhere, or a conference, or a picnic, or etc., that's generally what would happen. But for ARS, it's property damage. And we're on the same policy that you guys are on. We are the entity, we're the mother entity that is being insured, and you are being covered by our insurance because you belong to ARS. It's a legal thing.
So there's no way that there could be a separate
No way they can be separate. If they were separate, your personal injury insurance would skyrocket.
Jolene, what most people are interested in is what is our deductible if we have something from our meetings, somebody injured at the meetings. I know ARS has a $10,000 deductible. Does that apply to us as well?
No. If you take the insurance, you should get a piece of paper from Laura explaining what the deductible is, etc. And if you didn't get it, just email her and ask her for it.
So it's less than
yeah, it's not $10,000. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and we just got our certificate, but I have to confess I didn't read it to see what the deductible would be. I do know that for North Bay Rose Society, which is my home society, we're a chapter, so we expect everyone to be an ARS member. They're signed up as an ARS member when they join our society. So historically, we've kept our dues very, very low. We're going to be increasing our dues because of this, because it's for the $5 takes half of an individual's dues, $10 for a couple takes almost the entire amount of our dues. So we're going to be doing a dues increase. Just how it is. I think someone in Mount Diablo looked around for some outside and other insurance and couldn't come up with anything better. So it's unfortunate, but kind of how it is. So, Jan.
I'm treasurer from Diablo, and I would like to make a request. The ARS going forward advises of insurance rates in November for the coming year. I've been involved with several clubs and with my own personal insurance, and I always know what my rates are for the policy period. It's very hard when you get your rates January 14th and you've already had your regular meeting January 8th. And I think this needs to be addressed.
It's a very good point. Thank you, Jan. And I will take that to the board and our executive director. What else? Anything else on the insurance? I know it was quite a surprise. The cost was really quite a surprise. Homeowners insurance does not cover this.
Explain this, please.
Okay, I got a phone call from a member of a local society, and they said they're a very small society, and they meet at board members' houses. They have 4 meetings a year, and they didn't think they needed insurance. Their homeowners would take care of it. So I called AAA, which is one of the largest home insurance companies in our country, and they said, absolutely not. They do not cover a social meeting, an organizational meeting held in your home. They will cover your party, your wedding reception, your drunk Uncle Alex, and Roger, your nephew who ran over your roast bed with his dual-wheel pickup truck. But if you're having meetings of a formal organization, one with bylaws and their own treasury and etc., no. And they will nitpick you to death on this. You can try to disguise it, but generally they'll find out. Because if Mary Alice McGregor falls down in your driveway and gets scratched up by your rose bushes, and she's going to file a claim and says, well, I went to the meeting at her house. Bingo.
Well, I'm coming this time.
Go for it.
So we have a rose tour where we go to 5 different gardens, and we are assuming that's going to be covered as an event because we put those gardens and their addresses on the certificate of insurance with ARS. So I want to check that's covered.
Yes. Yes, if you put it and got the certificate from ARS, it is covered. If you're doing it as a local society and you are with the ARS insurance or with anybody else's insurance, and you provide the certificate of insurance for that, yes, you're covered. We're talking about your homeowner's policy. Some people get confused about homeowner's insurance, what it actually covers. And if you look at homeowner's insurance, if you look at homeowner's insurance, it'll say it covers your dwelling, you know, it covers your car, it covers your furniture, it covers your, and then casual liability for injury. If your uncle falls down from the dining room table, too much wine, you know how it is. But part of what I said before, organized meetings, no. Okay, Janae, you want to say something?
Yes, we have a rose garden at Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds. And even though the fairgrounds carries full coverage of anything that goes on the ground at any given time, I still file that insurance form from January 1st to December 31st every year because it's
You heard that? She wants to be sure, so she files for that certificate, no matter who tells you they've got insurance. Yes, Rose?
I would like to confirm that if you have, let's say, a board meeting at a person's home, that the ARS insurance will cover that.
The ARS insurance is not going to cover your board meeting held at someone's home unless you apply for a certificate. And what is that, $10 a pop? Just don't let your board have an accident.
So they have to look at that every month.
You should if you were rigorous about it. Now, quite frankly, I have never done that, and I've had a lot of board meetings at my house. And as long as I'm confessing, I've also had CR schools at my house and arrangement seminars, etc. Luckily, nobody has gotten hurt or filed against my insurance. But if they ever did, I'd be in trouble.
Rose, I think if you have your board, and you can correct me, if you have your board meeting at the same place every month, as long as when you fill your insurance paper out and have that address.
Now Rose, what Sue is saying, if you're insured and you have that board meeting at your house every single month, and you have declared that on your insurance policy, then you're covered by that insurance policy. Now, did you do that for your homeowner's insurance? No.
You paid an extra $10.
And we'd adjust that for our local society when we file for a certificate and we list it because we meet, our board meetings and our general meetings are at the same place. So we, and our road show, and we just listed them, just all those dates out. We got one certificate. So they were okay with that. Other questions or comments on this insurance? John?
So did I catch that right? They let you have the meetings and where you actually had the road show under the same certificate?
Well, we have it in the same place.
Oh, it was the same place, but if it's a different venue, it has to be.
If it was a different venue, you would need a different certificate.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
So what if, your Rose Society as a group has a field trip to some other public garden?
You may want to get a certificate for that and list where you're going to be going. It depends on how cautious you are and how graceful your people are. Right?
They have to be limber.
I mean, Grace is not my middle name. I know what I was thinking of. Taxes. Don't forget to file. Generally speaking, I think we get until mid-May because we're businesses, we're under corporations. But don't forget to file. State, federal, and many of us have to file a certificate with the Secretary of State and pay them 10 or 20 bucks. And they assume that you're just out there on their website all the time and know that you should do this. And then you get a nasty gram saying you're late. Guilty. But do go out and make sure that your treasurer has got all that stuff, check. It's all electronic. It's actually quite easy, but it's very important to get it done.